This episode of Cereal at Midnight is brought to you by Australia. 2 kangaroos for every human being. Australia. Well, hello and welcome to another exciting installment of Cereal at Midnight. I'm your host, Heath, and it's like a game show introduction. Should I be doing game shows? I think maybe I should. Come on down. In this installment, we are talking about new releases from Viavision. This is a massive... I don't think we've ever talked about this many new releases from Viavision in one single video before. This, maybe never in the history of the channel. This is just an amazing batch of TV on DVD and movies as well. So we're going to get all up in it in just a second here. But before we go any further, some of you guys are going to be like, wait a minute, Australia? I ain't from Australia, see, so I don't need to watch this. Well, hold on a second, sir, from some indeterminate region. I have tested at least one disc from every single one of these box sets, and they all play perfectly fine in my Region A player. Turn into a presidential candidate that I have tried every single disc. They play fine. I don't know. We're gonna go with it. We're gonna roll with it, guys. Let's kick it off with Hercules: The Legendary Journeys. Now, this... That's the sound of my mind being blown. Hercules: The Legendary Journeys, the complete anthology. This is... I was gonna say it's gorgeous, and I turn it, and there's Kevin Sorbo looking... This is like... Look, oh, it's just gorgeous. A gorgeous release, you guys. It's so tan, and it's been working out. No, this is the complete collection of Hercules: The Legendary Journeys with the movies that launched the series. Now, who remembers... You got to go back in your time machine to the 90s. You go the mid 90s. Hercules: The Legendary Journeys was launched by a series. There are 5 of them. There are 5 movies that paved the way. I think they were tests, honestly. I think it was, hey, let's see what the ratings are for these movies. Because there were other, I think it was called the Action Pack. There were other movies that would air, these were syndicated. They came in on syndication. There were other properties. And Hercules got picked up for a full series. So it was successful. It went for 6 seasons after the movies. This is the only collection in the entire world, the globe, the planet Earth, that has all of the seasons of Hercules: The Legendary Journeys and the movies that launched the series. But wait, there's more. It gets even better. The way they've broken these down, 6 seasons in the movies, they have 7 volumes. And guess how many well, I'll just show you. Let's pull some of this stuff out, and we'll get into it. They have done great service to this series and to fans of this series. Now, the movies, there are 2 movies on each disc, so 2 movies. But Hercules and the Amazon Women, I believe that one has Lucy Lawless in a non-Xena role before Xena even existed. Hercules in the Lost Kingdom, Hercules in the Circle of Fire, Hercules in the Underworld. I think that was my favorite at the time. I have to see how it... Oh, hold on. Hercules in the Maze of the Minotaur. That was my favorite because I love Minotaurs. Remember that God of War level where you have to fight the Minotaur? That was really good. Anyway, that gets its own disc. And then from that point forward, we are looking at 3 episodes per DVD, which for Hercules fans is great because some of you guys, like me, we're going to do some comparing, right? It's comparing time. Comparison time. This is the U.S. release of Hercules: The Legendary Journey. It's all 6 seasons, no movies, 25 discs. So how did they achieve this on 25 discs? Well, they put 5 episodes on most discs. That's too much. That's too many episodes. That's too much running time on. You can get about 3 hours on a double layer DVD if you're pushing it and you encode really well. You do more than that, you're going to get pixelation, you're going to get jaggies, you're going to get degradation in the overall image quality. So 25 DVDs and no movies. Guess what? 40 discs. This is a 40 disc collection. 3 episodes per disc and the movies. And they're region free, right? So, but wait, there's more. Kind of getting on my own nerves in this one. Some of these discs have, some of the episodes have commentaries. Now, obviously, I haven't gone through every disc to see what the commentaries are, who's on the commentaries. I've done as much research as I can before I can come to you here and talk about this. Like the last episode of the series has a commentary. As far as I know, no commentaries at all on this set. I actually popped the last disc of this in to see, wait, was the commentary in the US release? Guess what? No, it was not. So you're getting commentaries, you're getting special features. I thought this was really cool. Season 2, this is volume 3, part 3, part the third, has a season 2 CD-ROM. Now, they don't all have CD-ROMs, and you're going to be like, what the CD-ROM? So I popped this in my computer. I have one computer in the house that reads CDs still. I pop it in the drive, and it loads up, and it's got, I mean, it takes me back to the 90s. It was the glorious age of the 90s when you would put added contents on a CD. I think the original, so back in the DVD days, I bought these back in the DVD. I still have my original, like 2001 era DVD of Hercules Volume 1 that has those TV movies. And I've held on to it all the 20 years. I've held on to that because of those movies. Now I can let it go. But they would come with CD-ROMs, and it would be episode guides and character profiles and synopses for the episode. Before, you know, the internet technology put this in the palm of our hands, way before smartphones. That was a really cool feature. Graphics and images and just Hercules, the Legendary Journey wallpaper. It's here. It's in this set. I just thought that was so cool. You know what else is cool? And this is like a little secret, because if you're just, let me make sure I got these right. You know, if you're just watching this, you're like, all right, I'm going to do season 1. And you take out season 1, and then you're like, all right, I'm going to put that back in. I'm going to take out season 2. You'll never notice this, but this, I thought this was cool. If you take them all out, look, there's a little Kevin Sorbo surprise in there. That side too. So these were the art, you know, some of those were used for the covers of those older DVDs that I was telling you about. But I just thought that was neat, because you'd never know if you don't take all the discs out. So, no-brainer update for those that want the most complete, best-looking collection. We go from 25 discs, no movies, to 40 discs with movies. It's great. So let's move on. I want to talk about The Invaders next. This is an amazing series, a 60s show. Something's loose. I can hear something rattling around in there. Starring Roy Thinnis, legendary alien invasion show. You can see the influence of this show on the X-Files. The X-Files was influenced by a lot. We're going to be talking about the X-Files, how Kolchak the Night Stalker was. I don't know that X-Files exists without Kolchak, frankly. But this is another one. This is about, you know, the aliens have begun an invasion. This man knows about it, and he has to tell everybody else about it. But no one believes him, because why would aliens? Yeah, right, pal. It sounds familiar, right? So this is the complete collection. It is a 13-disc set. Now, there is a U.S. release for this that may or may not be in print. I'm noticing a lot of these shows from the CBS archives are not in print anymore. And I don't know if they're coming back in print, but they're not right now. But there is a U.S. release that does not have 13 discs. Do you know why this has 13 discs? Because it has complete Season 1 and Season 2. Season 2 also includes a Blu-ray of the pilot episode in full HD. Again, played perfectly fine on my Region A player. So for those that are big fans of The Invaders, or you don't have The Invaders yet, and you're like, which version should I get? This one, because this one has the Blu-ray. What a nice little touch, right? We're going to talk about that all throughout this video. Just nice little touches. Just for, you know, Via Vision. That's how I say via, they say via. I got to go with via because that's how they say it in Australia. Via Vision is the company that is responsible for imprint. So their eye to detail is off the chain, you know, as the kids say. It raises the roof. It is lit, y'all. Special features, interview and episode introductions by Roy Thinnis, the man who, you know, was there for every episode. Audio commentary by series producer Alan Armour. We've got more interviews and episode introductions here. Audio commentary by Larry Cohen. An extended 60-minute version of the pilot on DVD. And again, pilot on Blu-ray. It's just amazing stuff. So we're getting legacy special features. We're getting all the existing stuff plus plus new stuff. I want to talk to you really quick about, I didn't really do justice to the special features on Hercules. It also, so featuring commentaries, interviews, behind the scenes footage, and all 5 made-for-TV movies. So it's not just commentaries and a CD-ROM. It's also interviews, behind the scenes footage, multiple commentaries. I needed to do more justice to that. Let's talk about Minder. All right, so we're getting into our British TV now. Viavision has been very good to British television for a non-British... British people can play too. I was going to say for a non-British audience. The thing I love about what Viavision does with these British TV show releases, like 201, every single release I can think of a British TV show that comes out of the UK, region locked, PAL. Australia is like, hold up, Viavision's got this, so these are region unlocked, and you can see... Now, they're still in PAL, but the way that they're formatted, again, I don't have any problems. If your player, this is something that comes up from time to time, if your player is super old, it may not have the firmware to convert PAL. Most of them do. It's just built-in technology now. So that's the caveat. That's why, behind the scenes, why I always say play perfectly fine on my Region A Blu-ray player, because I don't want to speak for you. I don't want to speak for everybody's player. For the janky McStinky Blu-ray player from 2009 or whatever, I can't speak for it. They play perfectly fine for me, and I have not region hacked my main player that I test these on. So Minder is a series of it's Dennis Waterman. More on Dennis Waterman in just a second. And George Cole, Bodyguard. It's where like the term Minder kind of comes into the lexicon. Dodgy car dealer Arthur Daly specializes in moving shonky. I like that, shonky. Your merchandise is shonky, mate. To unsuspecting punters. Oh, they're so cockney with us. So protecting from the customers with grievances, and the long arm of the law, Arthur hires jailbird Terry McCann, Dennis Waterman, as his minder. He's an ex-boxer. He decides to go straight. So that's the premise of the series. And it's sort of, cheeky, quirky comedy, but also kind of gritty, right? So there were, I think, 10 seasons, and they brought it back for an 11th season, like not that long ago. This is from, what's the years that this started? 79 to 84 are the years that this collection spans. It was well into the 2000s when they tried to bring it back, and it's like, but it's a family member of the original Minder, and it was one season. But this is the first 5 seasons, and I'm sure that the last 5, 6 through 10, will be coming soon. Lots of special features here. 8 audio commentaries. Verity Lambert, Doctor Who fans. Verity Lambert's on this. She's responsible for the birth of the original Doctor Who series. 1983 Christmas special, Minder's Christmas bonus. We have a whole Serial at Midnight episode dedicated to Christmas specials. That is part of our Christmas in July that we just did. That was so much fun. 1984 Christmas special, Around the Corner. Episode of The Sweeney, starring Dennis Waterman. And then the original Tim's story information. PDF DVD ROM material. So including DVD ROMs in these. I think that's very, very cool. Whoop. They put these little secrets in there for you. Got your pounds in there. All right, here's what season 1 looks like. Here's what season 2 looks like. 3, 4, and 5. Now, needless to say, this is hundreds and hundreds of hours of television, so I will do more in-depth coverage for these, but I don't know when. I'll do my best. I don't want this to be our last conversation about these, our first and our last. But I will cover these again in some detail down the road, but it may be a while. So let's really do it justice here. Let's talk about, let's go with our Dennis. Let's go with our Dennis Waterman theme here. This is the Sweeney. This is the complete collection of the Sweeney. Now, this includes the entire series that ran for how many seasons? How many series? 4 seasons. There was a pilot movie called Regan. That's here as well in Volume 1. Hold this up. Regan is our first disc. And then season 1 follows. And I think it's in season 3. They've tucked these away. The feature films, Sweeney and Sweeney 2, Corruption Boogaloo. It's not actually called Corruption Boogaloo. That's just me being cheeky, right? Oh, and I got to get that back on the hub. Okay. By the way, I do like the way that they... all of Viavision's stuff is fairly uniform. The black discs, the white writing, and they give everything its own... And you ain't getting stacked discs here. Everything gets its own dedicated tray and hub. Let's run down the special features of the Sweeney. You know what? I'm going to hold this up for you guys. While I'm at it, let me hold up Minder for you too. And you can freeze frame that, and you can just look at it, and you can read it, and you can send it to your computer as a PDF, and you can print it out on the dot and matrix. Alright. Do I start this video over? No. We're having too much fun. Armchair Cinema, Regan, the pilot, Sweeney Todd. This is a riff on Sweeney Todd. Right? Because it's a Cockney rhyme slang for Flying Squad, right? I think that's right. The pilot for Sweeney with audio commentary by Dennis Waterman. Sweeney 1, Sweeney 2 feature films, 15 audio commentaries. That's amazing. Interviews with Roger Marshall, featurettes, introductions, episode of the Tim's comedy series Man About the House, guest starring Dennis Waterman. That's great. Now, Man About the House is on DVD from Viavision, but for those that don't have it, it's the inspiration for Three's Company. Adapted for U.S. audiences is Three's Company, but there's an episode with Dennis Waterman there, and they've included it. Interviews from the Electric Theater Show, excerpts from ITV, This Is Your Life, John Thaw, Stills Gallery, Restoring the Sweeney, isolated music audio track for every episode except Jackpot. And then in PDF form, again with those PDFs, Sweeney annuals and film press information. You know how you get the annuals every year that have the stories and it's amazing. So once again, they ain't nothing better than that presentation. Let's go with Lovejoy. We're rolling with our British TV theme here. Lovejoy is this is the complete series. Ian McShane, Deadwood fans, take notes. Ian McShane was in a series that started in the 80s called Lovejoy, where he was a smarmy, sort of a bad boy antiques dealer. And so Lovejoy takes you inside the world of antiques. I'm a little bit sad because in the ride from Australia, this got kind of beat up. There's no damage, but we are the collectors, right? So I know that on the shelf, it's unfortunate, but it is beautiful. It's got that antiques kind of a vibe, doesn't it? So Lovejoy, the complete collection. Ian McShane stars as Lovejoy, the irresistible rogue with a keen object for fine art. The antiques dealer and part-time, they went French. They turned into French in the, and I ain't doing that. We're rolling here on YouTube. The antiques dealer and part-time detective scours the murky sales rooms, auction halls, and stately homes of Britain, always on the lookout for a find. Whether it's a priceless old master or a pretty young lady, his love of beauty is sure to land this modern-day Robin Hood in trouble wherever he goes. The 21-disc collection brings together all 73 episodes of the much-loved and popular series in the original broadcast formats, that's key, plus 2 feature-length Christmas episodes. And it is recommended for mature audiences. I don't know how mature we are here today in this video. More wallpaper here, no secret images. Maybe if we pull the wallpaper back, there's like a code. Maybe they've handwritten a message for us. Probably not. I'm not going to do that. Series 1, Series 2, 3, 4. Looking very Christmassy, Ian McShane. 5. And 6. All right, do I have these in the correct order? Really trying to minimize my editing duties for this. Okay, place that down. You know what? Let's talk about Stingers seasons 5 through 8. This is the last half of the series. Now, those of you who've been with us, who've been paying close attention, you know that I am very impressed by Stingers because we've already talked about it. We talked about seasons 1 through 4. Which, this is an Australian show. It's an Australian drama. That's an Australian drama that ran from 1998 to 2004, I think. Yes. And it is gritty. It is super gritty. And it really, I'm trying to think what I would compare it to. Like I guess in America, maybe like an NYPD Blue, something like that. It's about undercover cops in Australia. And it's routine cases, right? I mean, it's a procedural. So they have to go undercover to bust up this drug ring, whatever. Oh, this drug dealer likes younger women. He likes girls who are like 18 years old. Hey, you're new on the force. You look young. What do you think about going undercover? I don't want to go undercover. Well, you're the best person for the job. Actually, the episode that I'm thinking of is kind of the opposite of that, where she's like, I'm the right person for this job. And they're like, you're too young. And she's like, I'm the right person for this job. You can't tell me what to do. I'm here to do my job. I'm here to save lives. And they're like, all right. And then it goes horribly, horribly wrong. Long-term consequences on the show. They'll kill characters and they stay dead. And it stars Peter Phelps, I should say. Peter Phelps, who was a featured player in the first season of Baywatch. And I'm telling you, it's hardcore. It's really good. Nudity, drinking, substance abuse, and the things that these characters will do to maintain their cover. It's very compelling television, and it's uniquely Australian. And that's one of the things that I like about Stingers, is that as far as I know, an American audience never saw this. We never got this. Maybe it came on some cable network late at night, but I have no recollection of ever even hearing about this before I discovered it when we started talking about the beginning of the season, of the series. And it really, really impressed me. So now we can finish the Stingers collection. This is these 2 volumes make up the entire series. And it is fantastic. Do yourself a favor, check it out. I recommend these if you're into crime shows, cop shows, undercover stuff. And again, that uniquely Australian flavor, because it's different, right? I mean, it really gets into the underworld of Australia. We don't see that a lot. We don't see, that's what we value about exploitation cinema. You really get a feel for culture when you explore the underworld and the underbellies of those cultures. So, I don't know, a big fan of Stingers. Let's also talk about Department S, the complete series. This is Peter Wyngarde. Flash Gordon fans, 1980s Flash Gordon, take notes. Department S is on DVD from Viavision. This is the entire series with a lot of special features. They would spin this show off later. Peter Wyngarde would reprise his Jason King role in the series Jason King. I think that was a 1-season show. Special features, Want to Watch a Television Series, Chapter 1, a 50-minute documentary on the making of the series, audio commentaries on select episodes, original commercial break bumpers, textless opening and endings, The Mysterious Man and the Flying Machine, a 25-minute international conversation. A 25-minute international version. And then more PDF stuff on the DVD-ROM. So you pop the DVD into your computer and you get PDFs of it says press information. This series was huge. Huge. What? Yuge, huge. It was a huge series. Sort of a spy, cool intrigue, espionage. Probably influenced a little bit by James Bond. Look at how gorgeous these look. Isn't that great? How many discs do we have here? 8. So, and they call the discs files. You guys see that? Little attentions to detail. And then our episode guide is going to be right back here. There it is. So, I'm tremendously excited. This is not hundreds of episodes. We may be talking about this sooner rather than later. I'm excited about it because I've never seen the whole series. Let's talk about some movies. Let's talk about some movies. It's not just about TV shows on DVD and 1 Blu-ray. It's also about some movies from Viavision as well. We have these 3 collections. We have the what do they call it? The films of Charlton Heston. The reason, I'm going to go ahead and tip what we're going to be talking about. The films of Charlton Heston, Maritime Movie Classics, and the Alan Ladd Collection Volume 3. It got again, didn't quite survive the trip across the ocean without damage. But the reason that for movie fans, cinephiles, take note, there's a lot of stuff here that has either never existed on disc before officially, or has been like manufactured on demand. I'm thinking like those choice lines, the lines where you get one movie burned on a DVD and it's $20. That's where a lot of this stuff has come from. Charlton Heston, just for, here's the films that are included, just for The Naked Jungle and Secret of the Incas. Those two movies, both 1954, I believe. Yes, those were huge, I'm sorry, Y-U-G-E, huge influences on Indiana Jones. Direct one-to-one. You want the leather jacket, you got it. You want the guy looking for treasures in the jungle, you got it. All this stuff goes into the mix when Steven Spielberg and George Lucas are creating Indiana Jones. I am a child of the 80s. It does not get cooler to me than Indiana Jones. So to see the influences of what, part of what, it's a big stew, right? There's a lot of ingredients, but these are the potatoes in the stew. They're big ingredients. The Savage. So we're getting some Western, The Savage, Pony Express, Diamond Head. So those are hard to find. These come from the time before Charlton Heston became like a star. That was the greatest show on earth, but he had not yet been Moses in the Ten Commandments, and he certainly hadn't been Ben-Hur yet. But then for the last one, it's Julius Caesar. And then that's an interesting thing. So we start with 1952, and then we span all these years later after the massive successes, and you get a 1970 movie where Heston is Julius Caesar. Very interesting. What a remarkable asset for movie fans to be able to watch these. Oh, I'll show you the inside too. Every movie on its own disc. Now, this does not imply that new restoration work has been done. These come from the archives of the studio. I think these are Paramount, Columbia. So Paramount and Columbia. Universal. Oh, we got a Universal. So let's jump over there. Alan Ladd Collection Volume 3. If you've been with us, you've seen us talk about Collection 1 and Collection 2. And now we have Collection 3. And once more, movies that are not, they're not common. They're not just, oh, I'll just pick this up from, so these are deep from the archives. Alan Ladd was a huge star. Multiple different genres, westerns, noir, intrigue, spy movies, Cold War movies. So underrepresented on disc, but not anymore thanks to these. So we got Lucky Jordan from 1942. It's a crime movie. We got China from 1943 and Now Tomorrow from 44 and Saskatchewan from 1954. So again, running the whole spectrum of Alan Ladd offerings. And then let's end it with the Maritime Movie Classics. This is spectacular too. So 5 classic seafaring adventures. The Buccaneer. Again, Charlton Heston. Note that the Buccaneer does star Charlton. He's not the lead. Yul Brynner is the lead. Yul Brynner is the lead of the Buccaneer, but Charlton Heston is in it. Note that they did not put that on the Charlton Heston set because he's not the lead. They didn't double dip you. They'll double dip you. They didn't do that. They kept them separate, and I think that was pretty cool. Buccaneer from 1958. A Perilous Journey from 1953, Sea of Lost Ships from 1953, Abandoned Ship from 1957, and Damn the Defiant from 1962. There's what the back of the package looks like. Again, deep from the archives of the studio. By the way, before I forget, did you guys see the news about the latest Imprint announcements? Again, Viavision is the company behind Imprint. They're giving The Naked Jungle the full Imprint treatment. So it's going to have the full restoration. There's a full length, I think it's 55 minutes, documentary about Charlton Heston. Loads of special features and stuff in there as well. Kitten with a Whip is part of that wave as well. Now there's a US release of Kitten with a Whip. It's just the movie on a disc. The Imprint release has, I believe it's got 2 video essays and an audio commentary. I mean, this is heaven for movie fans. So I am going to be watching the Seafaring Adventure movie is one of the things that I miss the most because we have no modern interpretation of this. You could say, well, you got Pirates of the Caribbean, but those are Disney movie rides. Disney ride movies. It could go either way. Those are Disney movies, big, supernatural. The days of like Master and Commander, how many years ago was that? That was a long time ago. So this is a genre that I love and I really miss. You know, Westerns have mostly gone away and the sea adventure movie has mostly gone away. But once they were big, and here they are. So thanks to Viavision for preserving these for us. And again, I say preserving because they don't really exist without these DVDs. They exist in a vault somewhere, I suppose, but they're not being seen. To preserve something, does it have to be shared? That's a question for you to talk about in the comments below. Guys, I'm telling you, this was epic. Half an hour talking about new TV and movie releases from Viavision. I'm tremendously passionate about what we're seeing coming out right now. We've never had it so good. And I want to enjoy it. There's a lot to argue about. We get so angry. We take things so personally. But look at what we have. Look at what is coming out like every day. You know, what a blessing. What wonderful times we live in. And Viavision is one of the companies responsible for serving us. So hopefully you'll pick up the ones you're interested in and send that message. You vote with your dollar. You vote with every dollar you spend and every dollar that you don't spend. So thanks for hanging out with me, talking about these wonderful releases on disc. What do you think about them? Which ones will you be picking up? What are your memories of some of these shows? What are your memories of Department S or Stingers or the Sweeney? Let's talk about them in the comments below. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Take care until next time. Here's where to go and what to do.